Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Spellslinger and we have another deck profile for you today. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. We try to post daily Master Duel content, that being deck profiles, replays, discussions, whatever it may be. So if you're into stuff like that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Helps me out immensely and I appreciate it a lot. So today's deck profile, Blackwings. I'm going to start doing what I did yesterday and do polls in my community tab to see what the next deck profile is going to be. If you missed this last poll, it was Gravekeepers versus Blackwings, and Blackwings won by a margin of about 5%. So it was really interesting to see what you guys thought of just that in general. So if you like the poll idea, let me know. I think I'm going to start doing that more from now on, just because it gives me an idea of what the community more so wants to see, and I will get around to doing the poll that loses at some point. So with that out of the way, thanks for stopping by. Let's get into this Blackwing deck profile. So before I get roasted to hell and back from the people that actually know how to play Blackwing, let me just clarify and state for the record, I have never played Blackwing a day in my life. I didn't know the combo lines or anything like that. I just know that Blackwing is a really iconic deck from the anime, and I really wanted to finally just sit down and learn how it plays. Now, this is the pure version of the deck. This is not the Raid Raptor version that does a whole bunch of combos and ends on competent boards. This is just a very pure version of the deck. If you are also wanting to get into the deck, into Blackwings, or just a general idea of how they work, then this is probably going to be a good place to start. Now, for all of you that actually know how Blackwing works, let me know what I can improve. Let me know if there are things that I'm missing, or just combos that I missed during the replay. We'll go ahead and get straight into it. If you are new, thank you again. Let's hop into it. So, starting things off with our level 1 Blackwing, we are playing Vayu, the Emblem of Honor. So, it is a tuner. We play lots of tuners. I think we play a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tuner monsters across the board, but this deck is a synchro deck, and all of the big Blackwing boss monsters are synchro monsters. We play a little bit of an Exceed package, as well as one big Borosword Dragon at the end, but we'll get into that when we get to the extra deck. Vayu, the Emblem of Honor. This card cannot be used, this face-up card on the field cannot be used as synchro material. If it is in the graveyard, you can target one non-tuner Blackwing monster in your graveyard and banish both this card and that target, and special summon one Blackwing synchro monster from your extra deck whose level equals the total levels of the banished monsters, but its effects are negated. So this is a really cool way of synchro summoning without actually having to have the monsters in the graveyard. So if you have Vayu in the graveyard, as well as the appropriate level to get out another big Blackwing extra deck monster, then that's a really good way of doing it. It's an interesting way of synchro summoning, like non-traditional synchro summoning, and it's just really cool. So after that, we're playing 2 copies of Orochi the Squall. Now, this first effect is shared by a majority of Blackwing monsters, and this is what allows this deck to be so versatile and able to spam out so many monsters. It says if you control a Blackwing monster other than Blackwing Orochi the Squall, you can special summon this card from your hand. Now, the other ones, the other Blackwing monsters have that same. If you control another Blackwing monster other than the one that you're trying to summon, then you can special summon it out. So it's really good for spamming, really nice. So this card right here, you can only special summon one copy of each Blackwing monster per turn that way. But the secondary effect of Orochi the Squall, if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material, you can target a monster on the field, change that target's battle position. So it's not super inherently super helpful, but it is a niche way to kind of get around your opponent's monsters, let's say, that have really big attack and need to be able to just change defense, or your own. It could happen. It doesn't come up a whole hell of a lot of the time, but it is there if you need it. Next, we are the next tuner that we are playing. We're playing 2 copies of Blackwing Blizzard the Far North. It is an extender, so cannot be special summoned. Keep that in mind. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one level 4 or lower Blackwing monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in defense position. So Blackwing Blizzard, it's a good normal summon target for going late game, and you could cut this down to 1 because everything is basically searchable off of Black Whirlwind, and we'll get down there. Again, I've never played this deck a day in my life, so for all of the true Blackwing enthusiasts out there, let me know what I can do to improve this deck. I'm always wanting to know what I can be doing better, or just texts and stuff that can help me out. Definitely let me know. I'm very interested to hear from the seasoned Blackwing players out there. After that, we can just get into our hand trap lineup real quick. This is a going second deck, so we play a lot of hand traps and going second cards. 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, 3 Lightning Storm. The Maxi and the Ash Blossom are pretty standard, and then the Lightning Storm to just deal with our opponent's back row, because we don't have anything else that deals with it. Just a lot of going second, good stuff. The next Blackwing name we are playing is Blackwing Harmattan the Dust. So this is a really cool way, if you really know what your Blackwing combo lines are, then you can use this. So it has the effect that you can special summon it out if you control another Blackwing monster other than itself. And then when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one other Blackwing monster you control and increase this card's level by that monster. So this is a really good way of using this effect to go into the exact synchro plays that you want to do by modulating the level, and it is optional. So if you just want the level 2, or let's say that you have a copy of Blizzard the Far North out, special summon the Harmattan and increase its level by 2 by using the Blizzard. So then you have a 2 and a 4, go into a level 6, or just a level 4 if you wanted to keep the 2 and the 2. So really versatile way to kind of go into your extra deck plays just while you're comboing. After that, classic card here, Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind. It has that special summon effect, and also once returned, you can target a face-up monster that your opponent controls, and that target's attack and defense become half of its current attack and defense. So it is a level 3 tuner, and this is really cool. I know that a lot of decks, from the ones that I looked up, are only playing 1. They're playing 1 Gale and 1 Blizzard. But I really like Gale as a level 3 tuner to go into, especially our big boss monster, the Blackwing Full Armor Master. If we aren't able to open Black Whirlwind or a way to search out the level 3 tuner, but it is just something to keep in mind. I really like it as the level 3 tuner, like I said, to be able to go into further plays. Another really classic one, Blackwing Bora the Spear. If you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon it, and then it does piercing if it attacks a defense position monster. So we play 3 of this just as a way to spam out more Blackwing names. And then along the same vein, we have Blackwing Chris the Crack of Dawn. We're playing 3 of this, again, along the same vein as Bora, just a really easy way to get out names, and we play 3 of this. I don't think that this is entirely correct. You probably play 2 of this and then add another copy of something else, but it worked out well for me. We have a replay at the end. It was a really fun match, and you'll see why. We're playing 1 Blackwing Decay the Third Wind, I think, or sorry, the Ill Wind. Can't read. I'm doing the Yu-Gi-Oh player thing where I can't read. It is a level 4 tuner, so once returned during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you take 1,000 damage. But when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target 1 Blackwing monster you control, then activate one of these effects, increase or reduce its level by 1. You can only use the effect once returned. So really good modulation. There's a lot of ways in this deck to modulate what you're doing, to modulate the level of monsters you control to get out the specific extra deck monsters that you want to get out. So just really nice, really easy way to get into that. After this, this combo right here, Blackwing Oster the South Wind, and Blackwing Simoon the Poisonous Wind. These 2 right here make up your main combo. If you open Blackwing Simoon, the Poisonous Wind, and any other Blackwing name, it is a free Blackwing Full Armor Master, and that is your basic combo that you do here. So Ouster the South Wind. I'll start with Simoon, because that is the card that you're going to be using for the combo first. So if you control no monsters and have this card in your hand, you can banish one other Blackwing monster from your hand and place one Black Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap zone. Then either send this card to the graveyard, or immediately after this card's effect resolved, you can normal summon it without tributing. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except dark monsters, and you can only use the effect once per turn. During the end phase, send Black Whirlwind to the graveyard, and if you do take 1,000 damage. So Simoon, what it does, you see, just real basic, you send any other Blackwing, or you banish any other Blackwing, get out a Black Whirlwind, and then immediately after that, you can normal summon Simoon, activate the effect of the Black Whirlwind to add a copy of Ouster the South. And then from there, what you can do is normal summon Ouster the South, and when this card is normal summoned, you can target one of your banished level 4 or lower Blackwing monsters and special summon it in defense position. And then from there, you have a 6 and a 4, and the Ouster the South is a tuner, and you can just go into your level 10 Blackwing Full Armor Master, which is your towers for the archetype. So Simoon and Ouster, this combo right here, Simoon and any other name is your big boss monster, and then you can use the effect to bring back that other Blackwing name that you banished, and that's the basic, like the super basic combo that you can do if you open the Simoon and any other Blackwing name. So the other effect here is that you can banish this card from the graveyard to activate one of the following effects. Place black feather counters on one Blackwing dragon you control, equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, or place one wedge counter on face-up monsters your opponent controls that do not have one. And that second effect is the one that we are going to be using most of the time because of the effect of the full armor the Blackwing Full Armor Master allows us to basically take control of a card that has a wedge counter on it. So this right here is your main combo, and you kind of build the deck around that, especially in the pure version that isn't as explosive as the Raid Raptor version. But if you would like to see a Raid Raptor version, let me know. I'd be down to learn how to make that work. But yeah, we'll keep it going. So we're playing 1 Monster Reborn just for extension. It's really good. 3 Allure of Darkness. We're playing all darks in the main deck except for the hand traps. So just a way to continue to churn through our deck. And also with the Ouster effect, if we normal summon this, we can just special summon the monster that we banish if it is a level 4 or lower monster. So there's some good synergy there. Already talked about Lightning Storm. Black Whirlwind, probably one of the most important cards in the deck. When a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your field, you can add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack than that monster. So this is not once per turn, so if you open multiple of this and normal summon something with high attack, Bora or Simoon, then you can activate both of them in sequence, as long as it doesn't get above Chain Link 2, I think it is, because most of these are when effects, so it can miss timing. Keep that in mind as you're going through your combos. So this is really good. And then the last 2 cards, Blackbird Close. I think this is a cool card. I don't think a whole lot of people run this, but I thought it was a really interesting card, and I really wanted to test how it would work. And so, but yeah, when a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, you can send one face-up Blackwing monster you control to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Then you can special summon one Blackwing dragon from your extra deck. If you control a Blackwing synchro monster or Blackwing dragon, you can activate this card from your hand. So Blackbird Close, other than just being like a counter trap for monster effects on the field, you can get out a Blackwing dragon just free from your extra deck. And if you control a Blackwing synchro monster, you can activate it from your hand, so you don't even have to commit it to the field. So that's really cool in my opinion, and it works pretty well. But yeah, that's it. That's the main deck. Let's go ahead and move on to the extra deck, of where the good stuff is. Alright, so for the extra deck, my thinking here was that I wanted to have synchro monsters with levels all the way through as much as I could. So I have a 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 10. I couldn't really find a 9 that works suitably. Let me know if you have anything that I could put into the level 9, and then a 12. So I'm missing 11 and 12, and then 1 through 4. I think 5 is the lowest one that we have. But the reason specifically that I have is just that spread of Blackwing monsters in the extra deck is because this deck can modulate and has so many different combinations of levels that it can add up to, that I wanted to make sure that I always had something to go into, no matter how poopy the opening hand is. So we'll go ahead and just get into it. Our level 5 Blackwing Graham the Shining Star. It is gonna be, it has to first be synchro summoned. When this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower non-tuner Blackwing monster from your hands, but its effects are negated. So just an easy way to get out further extension, and is just our level 5. Our level 6 is going to be Blackwing Armwing. It gains 500 attack during the damage step only, if it attacks a defense position, and then it also inflicts piercing. So that is something to also consider. I guess it's not something that you would initially go into, but if you get into a late grindy game where life points are going to matter, then it is there as an option. Another level 6 we are playing, Blackwing No Thung the Starlight. I really like this card. I would honestly consider bumping this to 2 over the second copy of the Blackwing Armwing, or replacing it with something else altogether. But if this card is special summoned, you inflict 800 damage to your opponent, then one face-up monster your opponent controls loses 800 attack and defense, and you can only use this effect once per turn. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Blackwing monster in addition to your normal summoner set, and you can only use that effect once per turn. So if you have a decent Black Whirlwind setup, you can go into a Blackwing No Thung the Starlight, and then get an additional normal summon to trigger your Black Whirlwinds. I really like this card. I think I might bump this up to 2, just depending. After that, we're getting into our level 7s. We play one copy of Blackwing Armor Master. Cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacks a monster, you can place a wedge counter on that monster with a maximum of 1, and you can remove all wedge counters from your opponent's monsters. The attack and defense of those monsters who had a wedge counter on them becomes 0 until the end of the turn. So Armor Master attacks, puts a wedge counter on, you can use that effect, and then attack with something else. You'll have to wait until the next turn, but it is just set up for being able to get over, big boss monsters that your opponent has. Just an easy way to do that. The more 7s that we are playing Blackwing Tabor Obsidian Hawk Joe. You can target one level 5 or higher wing beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Pretty generic, just extension there. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets only this card, or when your opponent targets this card for an attack quick effect, you can target one other Blackwing monster you control. That would be an appropriate target. That card, effect, or attack now targets that new target. So just effect and attack redirection onto something else. So you use the Obsidian to go into extension to climb into bigger boss monsters, because it is a level 7 with 2600, you can get something a little bit better with using its Reborn's effect. The last level 7 that we are playing is going to be Assault Blackwing Shidori the Rain Sprinkling. This card is synchro summoned using a Blackwing monster as material. It is treated as a tuner monster while face up on the field. So as we get into these higher level synchro monsters, some of them will share that effect. So keep that in mind while you are going through your combos. But this it is treated as a tuner while it's face up on the field. This card gains 300 attack for each Blackwing monster in your graveyard, and then when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target a winged beast synchro type monster in your graveyard except for this card, and then special summon it. So recursion, as well as we go through so many Blackwing names that this card can get up to 35, 45, 5,000 attack if you're going into late games with this card. So, and in the replay, it kind of just shows how big and beefy this card can get. So stick around till the end. We have the replay that showcases some combos and whatnot. So this card is good. I'm playing the one Blackwing Dragon for the target for Blackbird Close. We probably wouldn't use this card just to get it out. It's not super great, but if you would take damage from a card effect, place one Black Feather counter on this card instead, and then this card loses 700 attack for each feather counter on it. Once per turn, you can remove all Black Feather counters on this card. Then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That target loses 700 attack for each Black Feather counter you removed, and if it does, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack lost by its effect. So it has an interesting setup, but it requires a lot of just commitment from your opponent to do, and it's not a super great payoff, but it is there just as a big body to get off of the Blackbird Close, and it is the royal rare that we have, so I figured, why not include it. Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, it's a dark monster that you can summon as a level 8 because we didn't have any real decent level 8s to go into besides the Blackwing Dragon, so I wanted to include this. And because we special summon so much with its effect, we can do a ton of burn damage. Once per turn, once per turn, you can destroy as many special summoned effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card's, and then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each destroyed monster. So you can do a ton of damage, 2, 3, 4,000 attack. Or just damage in general, so it's a really good card to have, and just a 3,000 body on the field. So our big tower's boss monster, Blackwing Full Armor Master, it is unaffected by other cards' effects, and each time an opponent's monster activates an effect, you can place 1 wedge counter on that opponent's monster with a max of 1, and then after that effect resolves, or just once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls with a wedge counter and take control of it once per turn. During your end phase, you can destroy all monsters on the field that have a wedge counter. So lots of cool things that you can do here, and we play 2 of this specifically because while it is the big boss monster and we want to see it a lot, that effect to take control of monsters with wedge counters on them is a soft once per turn. So if you get 2 of them out, then you can take control of multiple monsters that your opponent controls with wedge counters on him. And if you remember, Oster the Force Self can banish itself from the graveyard to place wedge counters on all monsters that your opponent controls that do not currently have one. So if you're able to get out, so you'll have 1 out with the effect, with the combo line of Simoon and Oster. But if you're able to get another 1 out and your opponent has multiple cards out, you can take control of both of them. And in the replay, you'll see what that can actually do for just really good combo plays. So there is that. So the last Blackwing that we are playing, Assault Blackwing, Onimaru, the Divine Thunder. It's not super great. It's just another name and something that you can go into if you're like out of options. But it is a level 12, so lots of commitment here. So it's treated as a tuner if you use a Blackwing, cannot be destroyed by card effects, but it can be destroyed by battle, so keep that in mind. You can target a Blackwing monster in your graveyard, and this card's level becomes the same as that monster's. You can only use this effect of Onimaru, the Divine Thunder, once per duel. If this card that was synchro summoned using only synchro monsters attacks, this card gains 3,000 attack. This card gains 3,000 attack only during the damage step. So if you use only synchros to get it out, then it gains the 3,000 attack during the damage step. But is it worth it? Maybe. You can use it to go into other synchro plays if your math doesn't add up with your other Blackwing monsters that you have on the field. But it is there just as an option. So that's going to do it for the synchro lineup. We're playing 3 Exceed monsters. We're playing a Raider's Knight, Arc Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, and of course the Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. The Raider's Knight we use, it's just generic 2 level 4s, and we're playing a ton of level 4s, that being Oster, Decay, Chris, Blackwing Bora. Playing a lot of these level 4s, so options to go into this, but basically you detach a material from this, and then you can overlay Arc Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, and then you can use this effect to detach. And then it gains attack combined to all of the attack that is currently on the field of all other monsters on the field. So really good for OTK plays if you want to go down that road, and then you can just slap a Zeus on it during the end phase, because if you don't, then it is destroyed during the end phase during your opponent's next end phase because of the effect of the Raider's Knight. So get a Zeus on there, you'll be set. Borrelsword Dragon, just a really big boss monster. We spam out just so easily in this deck. Spam out a lot of monsters so we can go into Borrelsword Dragon really easy, and it's really good for OTK plays as well. Once per turn, you can target an attack position monster, change it to defense position, and then this card can make a second attack. During each battle phase this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or response into this effect's activation, and then once per turn, when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster, you can activate the effect that until the end of this turn, it gains attack equal to half of that monster's current attack, and if it does, that monster's current attack is halved. So really good for OTK plays. This deck wants to go second and wants to OTK or just control the board with wedge counters and just comboing in general. So I learned this deck last night, and I put this together, so don't roast me too hard. We'll get into the replay. Let me know if for these seasoned Blackwing players out there, let me know what you would change. Give me some constructive feedback, because I want to be able to get better. And if you would like to see the a Raid Raptor version of this deck, let me know, and I will add that to the list of deck profiles to work on in the future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the replay. I'll see you in just a second. Alright, so getting into this replay, I just have this one for you, but it really just demonstrates what this deck is capable of doing with just the spamming and the main combo that I mentioned in the actual profile. So we are going first, and we are going to normal summon a copy of Bora. Our hand is just all gas, by the way. And as soon as we normal summon that Blackwing Bora the Spear, our opponent will immediately shotgun a copy of Maxi, and we just end it and hope that we can hang on. So, because with how much we special summon in this deck, we would end up giving our opponent like 10, 15 cards, something like that. So nothing that not a whole lot that we could do about that, so we just pass it back to our opponent, and they are playing Live Twins, and they're going to activate a copy of Sunny Snitch, adding a copy of the Frost, activate the Leela, hitting out the Kisakill, going into a copy of the Evil Twin Leela, activate the effect to get back out the copy of the red, and then normal summon out, going into a copy of the Evil Twin Kisakill, activate the effect here to add a copy of the Live Twin Home, activate the effect of the Home to get out the Treat, and then going into another copy of the Leela effect to target and destroy our Bora. Battle phase, they will get in for a little bit of damage here, and then they will set one and pass it back to us. Now let's see what we can do here. Turn, change, draw, and we draw our combo starter. Awesome. So we are going to activate the effect of Simoon, banishing that second copy of Bora the Spear to activate from deck a copy of Black Whirlwind. Then we can normal summon that copy of Simoon to in sequence activate the effect of the Black Whirlwind, and this Sunny Snitch, every time that we summon a monster, they are going to gain 200 life points, and we are going to take 200 life points, so that is also something to keep in mind here. So we're going to activate the effect of Black Whirlwind, and they will activate Evil Twin Challenge. I believe this just lets them link summon, or to get back out the copy of just to get a Live Twin in the graveyard, and they're gonna go into a copy of the Leela. Resolving, we grab the copy of Oster from the deck, and then on the summon, they're gonna be able to activate the effect of the Leela and the Kisakill Frost. Kisakill Frost will be able to let them draw a card, and then the Evil Twin Leela will pop our Black Whirlwind, which is okay. It was definitely the right move, because they didn't know if we were going to continue to use that effect. But from here, what we can do, as we take the damage and they gain it, we're going to normal summon here. I use the effect to bring back the Bora, and we will of course take the damage, and then we'll gain life points. We're going to go into a copy of the Blackwing Full Armor Master. Like I said, just that is the base combo here. For the deck, we're going to use the effect of the Ouster to place wedge counters on both of our opponent's monsters here. I'm going to special summon Chris the Cracking Dawn, special summon Gale, and special summon Harmata. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to go into a copy of Assault Blackwing, the Rain Sprinkling, and it's already at a base 3,800 because it gains 300 per Blackwing in the graveyard. And from here, what we are going to do is use the effect of the Full Armor Master to grab the Evil Twin Leela, and probably should have grabbed the other one. I think they both share the same effect as special summon from the graveyard, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But from here, what we are going to do is go into a copy of Borrelsword Dragon after we take their Link 2. Just really easy for us to go here, and our Chidori the Rain Sprinkling gets up to 4,400 attack here. So what we can do now is we're going to go battle phase, use the effect of the Borrelsword Dragon to siphon off the attack, do a good 3,000 in the graveyard. They're going to activate the effect of the Live Twin in the graveyard to cut our Assault Blackwing's attack down to 1,400, which is unfortunate, but it ended up being okay. We're just going to attack, get in for a direct 3,000, and then from here what we can do, Borrelsword Dragon, just switch our Chidori to defense so it can make a second attack, and we are 50 life points over lethal. So I hope that this replay explained just what the deck is capable of. It is a really fun deck. I really enjoyed learning the combo lines and just being able to know what this deck is capable of. So if you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing more polls in the future for what you would like to see as future deck profiles and whatnot. So I hope that you had a good time. I definitely did. Until tomorrow, I have been Spellslinger. Have a great day.